welcome to Daily Beast Motivation. Beautiful Monday today and this week we are going to be talking about thinking big and setting big goals for yourself. Alright, so the reason why I want to talk about thinking big is any self-development, personal development, business books, any way to be successful in life, you have to set goals that are so big that might sound kind of ridiculous to other people. Alright guys, and you guys probably heard that quote where it says, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars, right? So here's the reason why we always talk about setting big goals and then moving forward with them. And what really needs to happen is that you really need to have a lot of courage to set these really big goals and kind of express it to your close friends, your family, right? If you have enough courage, you create this law of attraction, and then naturally it will start to happen. Right, so this is involved with a lot of stuff, but one of the biggest things for the reason why we set these big goals, think big, is because you have to be purposeful with all your actions that you do every day. Whether you wake up, whether you decide, hey, what are you going to do on a Friday night? You have to have, every day there'll be a lot of decisions that come up, like what to do, right? And then if you have such a big purpose or a big goal in mind on what you want to leave in the legacy of your life, these decisions become very easy, right? So for example, if you have this big purpose in mind, decisions become easier. Say, if you have a lot of friends that want to go out and drink on Friday night versus, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go study, I'm gonna go work, go make money, I'm gonna go work out, right? Something that aligns with my goals. And typically happens with goal setting for regular people is that they set really small goals, something like, hey, I want to lose like 5 pounds, and then if there's a roadblock that happens, they forget about that goal and then they just continue back to what they were doing earlier. Let's take an example of a small goal. Say in 2018 some people want to lose some weight. Instead of losing saying I want to lose 5 pounds, you say, hey, I want to start a fitness journey or health journey where I can inspire other people and leave a legacy that this is the way to live. So when your goal involves yourself and your legacy and other people, right, it's a lot more, it's bigger. It has a bigger purpose involved, and it's a lot easier to stick with it instead of just something really small. Thinking big is one of the biggest, most important things to being successful in like your endeavors or what you want to do and leave, your type of legacy that you want to leave in life. Today, I'm dropping a video, a vlog on my YouTube channel, so make sure to check that out. Alright guys, welcome to evening edition of Daily Beast Motivation. Today we're continuing the conversation. And by the way, I'm back in the workflow. Love being in the flow mode. If you guys don't know about flow, I had a whole week I talked about flow. Alright guys, so if you guys haven't heard about flow, check out my YouTube channel. I did post an Instagram story that I talked all about it last week. I'm also reading the Mihaly's and Cheesecake's flow book, and it's amazing. Guys, so it's easy to say and tell somebody, hey, think big, set big goals, right? But what is the strategies behind it to make it easy so you could do it every day, stay motivated, 365 7 days of the week, every day, all day. Okay, so first step, it's always think big. But the strategy that I learned from my real estate mentor, Grant Cardone, is the 10x rule. Okay, so here's how the 10x rule works. Alright guys, so if you guys didn't know, my first real estate full year was this year, right? And one of my goals was like to get at least one transaction, right? So multiply 1 times 10, it's 10, right? So as you can see, it's a pretty simple rule. I set my goal to 10 transactions this year. It's about 8 months into the year, 9 months, and I'm working on my 4th transaction, far exceeding my 1 transaction goal this year, right? So when you set these type of goals in your head, it might seem kind of ridiculous, but you're constantly thinking about these type of things and going the goals, so your actions is more purposeful every day. So everything that you do, even in your spare time, revolves around your goal. Using the 10x rule to think big and strategize, right? And then you create actions. Once you start getting actions and seeing a little bit of success, right, it's almost like a snowball effect where it consistently rolls downhill. Think of it as a snowball effect. It's pretty hard to get it starting, but once you get momentum, don't stop pushing on it. Keep pushing on it. Keep putting on the foot on the pedal, right, until you got it on cruise control. And that right there is where... Hey guys, so we continue on a conversation today about thinking big. And really, the first step about thinking big after you set your big goals and continuously thinking is actually a very, very simple strategy. It's called just start. Alright guys, so bring this back to that snowball effect where it takes a little bit of work to get the momentum. Starting is actually a simple idea, but it's one of the hardest things to start or to do because there's all this stuff that comes into your head. So a lot of times when people see inspiration or motivation or something that inspires them and they get an idea of like starting, what they do in their head is they hesitate, right? We have this thing called a 5-second rule where if you don't do anything within the 5-second rule, so let me try to explain to you what the 5-second rule is today. So it's kind of like a psychology term. If you hesitate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now your body's going to send a signal to your brain and try to protect it. It's going to say, oh, don't do that, right? To protect you, right? If you wait for that 5 second, that little voice in your head is going to say, hey, don't do it. Stay safe. Don't tell the person your idea. Don't talk to them because, you're safer. Don't do that. Don't push out your comfort zone. That's really what that little voice in your head is going to tell you. If you have enough self-awareness of the 5-second rule, you will act on it quick. Once you act on things really quick, you get the ball rolling as soon as possible. And that's what you want to do, is just create momentum as fast as you can. And really, the first step to being successful in anything, health, wealth, and relationship, is just get started and stay consistent, right? The hardest thing is to get started. You guys need an actionable item today to get started on something. Be very aware of the 5-second rule today. If you see something that inspires you, talk to somebody that inspires you, reach out to them. Do it within that 5-second rule. Send them a text message, send them an email, send them a phone call. Guys, so hope you guys today enjoyed today's lesson about getting started and the 5-second rule about thinking big. The simplest things, it's like Occam's razor. It's the simplest things, the simplest answers. It's not complicated, but you have to be self-aware about it. As always, guys, remember to stay motivated, stay hungry, and live like a beast. And if you guys haven't checked out my previous content on my YouTube channel, the link is in the profile. I have my bachelor party vlog and some self-improvement and these daily beast motivations on there. Alright guys, so today on Thinking Big on Daily Beast Motivation, I want to talk about the thought process of and reframing and changing the whole thought process of your mind and how long it takes to achieve something. So if you want great health, if you want a great business, if you want great relationships, all these things take a lot of time. But the thought process is you need to be patient about that, but you also have to have enough self-urgency to start pursuing. Alright, so you also have this thing where people have the health and wealth and relationship goals, but it's so far ahead that they're not actually doing anything today, like specifically to advance those, to get those to those specific goals that you want in those areas. And that's where the sense of urgency has to come in for anybody. You want to know how to do it as effectively and efficiently as possible. That means you got to always continue to seek the answers, always continue to get better, always. Alright, so today's strategy is to set the big goal, 10x it, but every day, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday to Friday, you have to be consistently working on improving everything in all those areas, right? Right, and if somebody says, oh, it's going to take forever for you to do that, don't listen to them. There are no rules in the time frame on how fast you can achieve things. Once you start thinking outside the box on these kind of things, you'd be a lot more successful and you'll go at your own pace. Right, so once you start removing these limits out of your head, right? Instead of saying like small goals, you're saying these big goals. Now you're achieving things a lot faster, and now you're breaking the rules, right? Because, rule number 6 for Arnold Schwarzenegger, break some rules. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson about thinking big, setting those big ass goals, like the 10x ones. But every day you have to be efficient and effective as possible to working towards those goals every day. And then changing your whole thought process of the limit. Alright guys, you remember the old saying, your mind is like an umbrella. It won't work unless it's open. So your thoughts have to be consistently open-minded to new ideas, right? And you have to implement them. If you don't implement them, you're not going to make any change. And it starts. All right, so if you don't make any mental change in your brain or your thought process or any physical change in your body, nothing is going to happen. You're going to get the same results and you're going to get the same angry frustration So what else happens when you get angry and frustrated, right? You go into depression, you go into sadness, right? Anger. You stop doing actions, and sometimes this is like the opposite effect of the snowball effect. Just like you have the snowball effect in success, you have the same snowball effect when it goes towards depression, right? And that's where you want to avoid, is the deeper you go into depression, the harder it's going to be to get out and be doing positive things. And whether you're chasing success or down in the dumps in depression and whatever it is, the only person that can make the change is you. There could be a ton of support, but if you're not ready to change in your head, you're not going to make the change. Alright guys, today we're talking about thinking big, and today is a self-awareness lesson. There's two types of mindsets that you need to be aware of, and I'm going to tell you about them today. And I talked about this earlier, but a closed mindset versus an open mindset, right? Just like that whole saying, your mind is like an umbrella. It doesn't work unless it's open, right? Alright, cool. Alright, so if you continue to find success in things that you do and you consistently change, you have a growth mindset, right? In which you want to continuously do, not just continuously, you want to become better at it, you want to 10x it. So the next mindset is a closed mindset. If you tend to feel very unhappy, frustrated, angry, emotional, specifically, you got to be aware that it's probably because you haven't grown or open to do anything new. People tend to get frustrated when they can't accomplish specific goals, where they do something continuously and then they don't get the results they want. So they get angry, they get frustrated, right? So just be aware if this is you. Right? So if you tend to be frustrated and angry a lot and you seem to can't get out of this rut, look around the people that you hang out with. If you're continuously hanging out with people that are negative, talking about bad and stuff, it's going to be very hard to change. Alright, so thinking big really revolves around a lot of the type of people that you're hanging out with as well. If you're not hanging out with people that have the growth mindset, it's going to be very, very hard for you to get the growth mindset. It's a very simple lesson today about the closed mind versus the growth mindset, right? Just be aware. Even if you're in a closed mindset, you got to make sure that you're aware so you can start moving into this positive light, becoming more successful yourself.